What's up, guys? Welcome back to another HERR Lounge podcast. Thank you, first of all, for being so patient with me as I juggle the first week of the year. It all snuck up on me. I felt like I was pretty prepared, but I guess I was not. So we have new items being added to herappareltx.com. So go visit there by the time this drops. Actually, no, this drops today. So new items will be up on Friday. So tomorrow, this is actually dropping the same day that we're recording it. Usually we record before, but, unfortunately I had to get some stuff ready. I think today it's going to be a little controversial, maybe. Ooh. I don't know. And I'd like to start with this quote. And it says, "What's a queen without her king? Well, historically speaking, more powerful." So
break that down for me.
I have been on this pearly things, something like that. I discovered her, guys, actually through Officer Tatum, because she had an episode with Andrew Tate, which I know a lot of people will either hate him or love him. And I have mixed feelings about him. I don't agree with everything that he says, but he makes great points, you know? But I discovered her through him, and I went to go check out her YouTube channel. And I mean, she's blowing up. She's speaking about great things and, you know, just touches on a lot of subjects at such a young age. You know, I think she's very mature and on top of it for her age. But long story short, I was watching this last one where she went on the Vice episode, and she was one of the girls on the panel. I forgot how many girls from all different types of, I guess, point of views. First of all, there was transgender women on there, which I had a problem with. You can't be a part of the feminism movement. You weren't born a female. I don't care what you say. And if you're listening and you don't like this, then fucking unfollow me and just don't be a part of her world anymore. You're not a feminism. You're not in it.
I don't think they're part of her world.
Thank God. So no, I'm saying if they support that idea, like, I don't care anymore, because that, like I said, I will call you Jan if you want. I will respect the fact that that's what you want to go by, but you can't be making female decisions. You don't know, not even an ant-sized idea of what it's like to go through anything that a female has to go through, from low iron, hormone imbalance, carrying a baby. You know what I'm saying? All the fucked up shit that comes with being a female, like, that we go through. You transitioning will never go through the same things that we deal with, you know? So, with that being said, yes, they had some transgender women on there, which I felt like they shouldn't be voicing their opinion in regards to female decisions, because you're not a female technically. So, a lot of the debate that was happening on this panel was that women make the pay gap. And I think that's been debunked plenty of times, right? I don't know how many more times they can debunk that, but there's like numbers now that show that that's not true anymore. The pay gap is not there. My mom maybe was the person who never made me feel like I couldn't do anything a man can do. Like, I've always been able to, like, as far as work is concerned, right? And I've worked with plenty of men where I've made more money than they made in conversation we discovered, you know? And so I think that as far as pay grade is concerned, right, there's several things that can go into it. One, have you even asked your boss for a raise, right? Two, have you even considered looking into maybe another company that is going to offer you more pay for your skills or your education or anything like that, right? Three, if you're not getting what you want, is it a lane where you can create your own business out of it so that you don't have to fucking feel like, well, fuck you. You're not giving me an opportunity. I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? Is it something that you can kick off yourself, right? There's never been a roadblock for me where I felt like, well, only men get to do it. I've also have never had a problem with men being construction workers, garbage men, all the shit that I don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? If a man is getting paid more, let's just say, are you going to be the female that goes on, what are those called? The skyscraper things
for cleaning the windows?
To clean the windows?
Yeah.
I'm not fucking doing that, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not risking my life to do that. I hear they get paid very well too. And obviously because it's such a high risk job, I'm not doing that. I'm not. So go ahead, boo-boo, make more money than me, because guess what? You're in a lot more danger than I am. You know, you're risking not being able to come down, not going home to your family. You know what I'm saying? So, and then let's talk about police officers. There's some police officers making less than women because they don't get paid, you know, the pay rate that they should, right? Firefighters also. Firefighters, it's a joke. Like, if I could speak for somebody, it would be firefighters, because they're the first to go to anything, but they're also not the ones to get a raise. If you look up when was the last time the city of Houston gave firefighters a raise, it's fucking pathetic. It's pathetic. And these are men who obviously, you have to love doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Because the pay isn't that great. You know what I'm saying? So if your husband is a firefighter, if you are listening and you're a firefighter, hats off to you, because shit, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of the debate was the abortion debate, the it's not fair, you know, women have always had this battle and, you know, poor us, right? And it's always because I think society has made a bad thing for you to be a stay-at-home mom. Don't you feel?
Society's made it for bad. Yeah, I could see that, for wanting to be a stay-at-home mom.
For you to want to be a stay-at-home mom, it has become... Sorry, why is this phone continuing to go off?
You only have one phone right now, right?
My work phone is in my what do you call it? In my purse, because I was like, if I bring both, oh my god. But my point to that is, it's like, I feel like we have encouraged women to not want a man, not need a man. You know, I was guilty of that. Like, I never felt like I didn't need a man, but I never felt like I needed a man financially to make me happy. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Like, I felt like a man for me was a more of a team thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A partner who I wanted to grow with. You know what I'm saying? Who I wanted to create wealth with. You know what I'm saying? Who I wanted to share experiences with and so forth. For me, it was never like, let me go see who I'm gonna find so I can see who's gonna pay my bills for the rest of my life. You know, it was never none of that, you know? And I know that there's plenty of women out there whose number one goal, you know, is to see who they can find that's going to financially take care of them. And that is completely fine, girlfriend. You know, if you find you that dummy, go for it. You know, I mean, he's getting something from you too, you know, so at the end of the day.
Let me ask you, what led you to click on it? Did you know about this, or just kind of came across it? I
came across it because I guess I've watched one of her videos. And so it's so annoying. I couldn't finish it. It was so over the top. Everything was a fucking excuse. Everything was an excuse for females not being able to do this, not able to do that. Okay. I'm going to use my friend Marissa, for example.
All right.
Because Marissa holds it down while her husband is working. Okay. She holds it the motherfucking down. She's got a baby, 2 kids in activities, all of them in school. You know what I'm saying? She's got a job. She's also trying to like her business is opening back up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's a lot on her plate and she's doing it by herself, right? Here. But is she technically doing it by herself? No, because she also has a spouse who's financially providing for their family, and he's the one having to sacrifice, not
being home with the kids,
being home with the
her.
kids, being home with his family, and so forth. So if you really look at it, it's both parents are giving up. Marissa's given up personal time for herself. She's given up sanity. You know what I'm saying?
Which is already hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, because she's got to hold it down at home while her husband is out of town bringing the bread and butter home. Although she's contributing financially as well, right? He's doing the same for his family so that his family so that their kids can go to private school, so that their kids can be in all these activities, private, coaches for, her son who's doing football and so forth, so you can't say you can't have one without the other, in my personal opinion,
Yeah.
And I was telling Pete while I was watching this girl talk about everything, Pearl or whatever, which I discovered her real name's Hannah, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know if that's her middle name or what, or is Pearl's her middle name. I don't really know. But I guess I didn't disagree with any of the stuff that she said, because I've always kind of felt like that. You've always told me you're very conservative. I'm not, Rob. I'm not. Stop saying that. But I guess I don't see anything wrong with what she's saying, because I kind of have always seen it that way. But you have to remember, I grew up in a very traditional home, meaning my mom worked because she decided to go to work, not because she had to go to work. She chose to go back to school. She chose to go to work. She chose to open up a business. Was my dad okay with it? No. He didn't want her to go work, right? And I think for him, it was probably more of, because he comes from that generation, it was more of a, I don't want to say macho thing, but I think he felt like, wait, people are going to think that I can't support my family. That's why you're going back to work. Does that make sense?
Totally, yeah.
And so, but he never told my mom, no, what are you doing? You better not go to school, or, you better not go get a job. He was more like, okay, well, if that's what you want to do, fine, but let's make it clear you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? So he was never like against it, but he wasn't 100% for it.
That's how my dad was.
Yeah.
But he also no, you're not working. And that was that.
My dad was like, fine if you want to do it.
No.
Yeah.
And ironically, they met in the restaurant that my grandparents owned. So she was like the cook, the chef in the Mexican restaurant. And then after they got married, she was like, you're not working anymore, kind of thing. I was like, oh my God. As I hear these stories as I've gotten older, I was like, it's so ridiculous.
Right? It is. But then I also see where my dad was coming from. You know what I mean?
But maybe when y'all got older, if mom wanted to do it, right?
Well, my mom did wait. So I'm going to take that back.
So y'all were out of school.
She did wait. No. We were not out of school. My sister, we were both in school now. So it was I guess no one required a bottle.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? We were not babies anymore. For example.
They didn't drop you off at daycare.
Yes, exactly. So my mom did wait until my sister got into kindergarten before she went and decided to go back to school, right? And then she started working and so forth. But she did wait until we were both
school in her current profession,
yes.
right? For your mom, it was school for this current profession that she's doing.
Yes, yeah, to be a hairdresser, cosmetology school. Yeah. So it wasn't oh, I'm doing it like they're babies, Although my mom did have the support of my grandmother, so technically, even if she did want to, my grandmother would have held it down. So
I want to talk about that, about your family helping when you have to work or whatever, and then watching it. But before I do that, did anybody make any points on? So was the debate feminist versus?
No, it was more feminism from different point of views.
Oh, okay.
More where this person stood. For example, it drives me bananas when someone says, "I know that, fine." Men do it. Men make it so obvious. Looks, right? You can get away with things because one's pretty and one's ugly, right? Mm-hmm. But I honestly believe that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Because have you ever seen a fucking really pretty girl with an ugly guy and you're like, how are those two together? Right?
He's got a lot of money and a big D.
Yes, but she's also so into him. I know a couple like that.
Yeah, I know a few of those.
And I don't want to say.
Don't even give anything away.
I don't want to give any hints because I know she listens. So I've told her this before, so it's not like it's a secret to her. But it's almost. But he treats her like fucking royalty. Bro. Like
she's the real queen.
She is the queen. I mean, just so in love with her, and vice versa, bro. And he's not
authentically.
Yes. And she said how that happened was because I was so curious how that I didn't meet them. I met them later, so I didn't meet her like she's not my friend from like a long time ago, you know? And when I asked her, she said how that happened was out and about, okay, with her girlfriends, was supposed to meet this one guy. He fucking ends up being a douche, right? But he met all her criterias, meaning he had the looks, he had the body, he had the car, he had the what she looked for, which if you saw them together, it was like, oh yeah, they're totally should be an item, you know? This guy comes up to her, wants to buy her a drink, and she's like, okay. They start to have a conversation, and through conversation, he wooed her.
That's all it is, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, he got her. He was a smooth talker, I guess.
Smooth operator.
Like, you know? And so she was like, what? They exchanged phone numbers. This was happening at a bar. So they exchanged phone numbers. It was a whole like, what's up? And then it was like later on, she said like, she was kind of like, what just kind of happened here kind of thing? Because she's like, I would have never even looked his direction.
Yeah.
I know it's really mean, but she's
it
like,
is what it is,
you know. She worships the ground he walks on. I mean, just it's annoying like how much they like. It's like they're so lovey-dovey, and they have kids too, so it's not like, and their kids are gorgeous, by the way.
That's awesome.
And
super lucky. You know, I feel like I'm like that with my wife for the most part, and I want to be even more all the time. And then she'll do one thing to annoy me. I'm like, man, whatever. I'm not gonna try any harder. Just kidding.
Don, he's just kidding. Don't wait for him at the door with a knife when he gets home, please. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think that a lot of these women, one of the things that she said is these expectations, right? These expectations of women. Like, it's like, you have to have this. And it is a double standard in many ways. And what I mean by that is men don't meet women and say, I wonder if this bitch got good credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, does she know how to cook? Does she know how to clean? Is she going to be a good mother to my kids? Those are none of the things men are thinking about. Right?
On a first date, never, no.
I now feel as a 41-year-old that I used to say there's no way you can date someone, a man can date someone and know if she's the one, because some men stay with someone for a hot minute. So why do you stay with them if they're not the one, right? Mm-hmm. But I feel like now I understand when someone is the one. Does that make sense? Your heart and your mind are totally different. And I can say that, you know what I'm saying? Like, my husband and I probably said, I love you early on, but I not for 1 second felt like, ooh, this is kind of soon, sir. Like, why are you saying that? It was very much mutual because I felt that way about him. And at first because he said it first, it caught me off guard because I was feeling that way, but I was fighting the feeling. Does that make sense? Because
You're fighting to say I love you?
Because I felt like it was too soon. Like, you can't tell somebody this soon.
How soon?
I mean, I think we were only dating maybe like 2 months, 3 months. That's
okay,
soon.
A little soon.
Yeah, it is. And so I was like,
he was trying to lock it down.
I think it was 3 months because I think he didn't move into my apartment till 3 months later, almost.
So
we had already been dating for a little bit. I'm talking about from when I got my apartment. So I think he moved in like after Christmas, and I moved in there in November. So sometime around there. And then it was like one morning he just wakes up where I'm like getting up. He's already made coffee, and he just says, "I just love you." And I said, I just kind of looked, and he was like, you don't have to say it if you don't want to. I'm like, no, I do. And he was like, you felt so forward. And he felt like insecure. I think I had a face of like surprise.
Shock.
Yes, because I was feeling that way, but I didn't know how to tell. I didn't want to say it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you're going to scare him. That's kind of like, that's too, you guys are so new. By that time we had been dating already. We'd already been dating about 6 months, five months, but we had been kind of like living together for like the last like 2 months. You know what I'm saying? So like,
where does that come from? I think we need to shake up some of these things, like for our kids and like future generations, like all these, like, it feels like forever it's been, you can't say I love you, it's too soon. You can't talk about, finances, it's too soon. You can't talk about moving in together. You know what I'm talking about? Like, why were you so on shaky ground with it?
I think it was because I was in such a long relationship before, and I just kind of felt like, man, it's barely been a year you've been out of this relationship. How can you love someone
but how could
again?
You not, right?
You know what I'm saying?
And then you realize, how could you not? Like, you just did.
Yes, exactly. And it was kind of like, okay.
That's what made you think, like, I know when I love someone.
Yes.
Okay.
And so it was like, it's different. If I go back and think about, not to compare my husband, you know what I'm saying, at all, but if I go back and think about it, I've always said this 100 million times. There's nothing bad I can say about my previous relationship. He was just not the person for me, but he's a great person, and whoever he married trust me, is going to be very happy because he's a very good person. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Hard worker, we just weren't the same anymore. We grew apart. We also dated when we were very young. So we did a lot of our fun partying stuff together. And I think you get older, and so you kind of like start wanting different things. And perhaps maybe he knew that I wasn't the one for him. And it has to be it, because when you're with someone for 8 years, at some point you either know or you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like maybe, and that's where I was at the time. I kind of felt like we aren't going anywhere. I know that I like I said, I never cared to have children. So it wasn't about, I want to get married to have children, but I knew that I was ready to get married so that I can create this life with my partner and start doing things and, like creating what I have now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just a nugget,
Oh, cute.
So yeah, I thought it was pretty soon. I thought it was too soon for me to admit it to me to tell him. But when he told me, he caught me off guard, because it was like, did he read my journal? Like, how does he know this? You know what I'm saying?
My diary.
Did he read my diary? Type of thing. And it was like, oh my gosh, I feel the same way, and he's like, I think he felt a little insecure about it. Like, I'm like, no. You just kind of caught me off guard. I mean, it was early in the morning.
Yeah.
I was competing, so I'd have to get up really early to go do my fasted cardio. So, you're kind of like in this hurry up and get up, because you got to go fucking run on this damn treadmill. You know what I'm saying? So,
do you remember what the video was called? The Vice video?
It's just Vice Feminism. Put that. You'll find it.
I wanted to.
It's a whole fucking panel of dumb bitches.
Feminist panel, pearls in the title.
Yes.
What was I going to say? Okay. It was only uploaded 8 days ago, and it's got almost 900,000 views, so it'll break 1 million pretty soon.
And you got to read the comments.
That's what I was going to say. Did you read the comments, and what was some takeaway from the comment section?
It's a mix. It really is. Funny thing though is, like, what got me is that
this is where they're talking about abortion, and they're like, yeah.
The fact that women think that abortion is a form of health care.
That bitch looked like Megan Rapinoe with the white hair, with the short hair.
That's the guy.
Oh, no way. Oh, shit. I just saw a clip on Instagram this morning. It's from this, and I guess it's like, yeah, it's not empowering. How's that not empowering for women? This is somebody who's this is a plant into the feminist movement. There's plenty of these plants out there of humans that are psyop. They're trying to make women think the way this guy is thinking.
How as a feminism, which feminism comes in all shapes and forms and ideas, mm-hmm. right? But you as a feminist, how do you've been fighting for men not to make decisions, right? But you're allowing a man who's transformed or transitioning, into a woman to come into this feminism world and make decisions.
Oh, comments are turned off now.
Okay. I mean, they were brutal. You should have seen them.
Ah, damn it.
Some of them were like, okay, there was one person on there and said,
Can you even say it?
if I want to kill a baby, I will kill my baby because it's my body.
Yikes.
And I was just like, you're the fucking reason why, you know what I'm saying? And this is crazy because I just talked to this lady today while I was at Sunny's swim class. I always talk to her because her daughter and Sunny have the same times. And I had asked her, she said, are you done having kids? I'm like, yeah, I'm 41 now. I was like, and I kind of told her, I said, I wish I would have started sooner. She goes, well, I'll be 40 in February. I said, what about you? She goes, well, I'll be 40 in February, but we have one more egg. So she's in there. Her kids are IVF kids, right? And so they have one more. And check it out. She knows that last little egg is a boy. And I said, how do you know that? She goes, well, I have a genetic disorder, so we have to get them tested. And so we already know that it's a boy. I said, so are you going to try? She's like, I don't know. Her baby's will be 8 months in February.
Wow.
So she just had this baby. She looks fucking fantastic, Rob.
Jealous.
Very. I'm just like, bitch, you just had this fucking baby. She looked cute just even right after because she would bring the baby in right after. And she looked just fine. I was just like, okay. Note to self. Anyway.
Try harder.
Yeah.
We're our own worst critics, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I hope that when I go in this month I'm going to go get another blood work, just check my hormones again. I'm going to have the surgery.
What surgery?
The hysterectomy.
You are?
I'm over it. Over it like 100%. Like these periods are not normal at all. Like it's got to be gone. Like I just don't want to deal with it anymore. It's that bad. I've never had them that bad. It happened after my second pregnancy. It's worse. Like first one, it was like just the first couple of months, and then it was like, oh, back to my regular. But this pregnancy after this pregnancy, it's been the worst. So
have you talked about it with anybody in the Discord or other women?
Yes. And Sheila says it's the best thing she's ever done. It's the best thing that she's ever done.
What's the, so I guess since we're on that subject, what's that like? What's the process like? Like what's a recovery downtime?
I'm not sure. I hear different things. Sheila was up and going, but Sheila's a bad bee. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she is not playing. But I hear it's 6 weeks, but I don't know. It's a 6 weeks recovery, but I'm also getting my hernia fixed at the same time. So I'm going to have a regular belly button now. Thank God. It's not this fucking popped out belly button that looks crazy. Even Penny's like, why does your belly button look like that? I was like, don't worry about it, girl.
It's your fault.
I'm like, oh my God. It's funny though, because whenever I come up to do a sit-up, I was doing sit-ups where you kind of hang and then you bring your knees up, you know, so to your chest or whatever. And every time I did it, I could just see my belly button. It was like, and it scares me, so I'll stop.
Because I can feel it. Right.
Well, because I feel it kind of go out of the little pocket, wherever it must sit. I can feel it go out, and then it goes back in, out, and it goes. And then whenever I've done planks before, at like the conditioning class, legit, bro, I got to turn around and like press it with my finger and push it back in because it'll be too popped out. That bad.
That makes me feel a little weird inside.
Yeah, it is. It's real. But anyway, yeah. So see, that's the shit that a male transitioning to a female will never have to fucking deal with. You know what I'm saying?
Of course I do.
You'll never have to know what a heavy period
flow.
Is.
Heavy
you know
flow.
what I'm
Is that
saying?
what you guys still call it, flow?
My gosh, that's what I'm saying. Like, sis, I will call you sis if you want. I will say Sarah, Jane, whatever fucking name you want. But that's why I can respect, what's that one transgender girl that was on Rogan? Blair White. Mm-hmm. That's why I can respect her, because I will call her Blair. But Blair also acknowledges that she's never going to have a period. She acknowledges that she'll never have kids. Like, she can't carry a baby. You know, she acknowledges all the realistic things about what it is to be a female. She still has a dong, so she didn't cut that off.
Blair.
Right. So she's like, I'm not going to do it. You know, she's like, I'm not going to, she'll tell you, it's a very dangerous procedure. There's so many, I mean, I've sent you the video on how it's done. It's fucking insane. They basically tuck your shit in. That's how we came up with TIA tuckers.
TIA tuckers.
Everybody was loving that in the Discord. Couldn't stop laughing. I was like, y'all really are loving this TIA tuckers.
There's probably a couple of them in there that are tuckers. Let's be real. You freaks.
So, you know, by the way, off subject, shout out Giovanni. He's back on the Discord. I don't know why he fell off of ours. I heard he had not fallen off of RPT.
He didn't fall off, but he was away for a little bit. He even said towards like mid-December, like, hey, you know, I'll see you guys in the new year. But he still came back periodically. So I don't know if it was just kind of like focused on the family during the holidays, which I understand. But he's back. We haven't done our Agent of the Month yet, so I'm going to put that poll up later today.
Yeah, because he's back too. Like, I was like, where have you been? Like, you know, I was like, and then I started wondering, like, well, did his wife not want him on ours? Because ours is mostly females, with the exception of, you know, Sparky and
Gabe,
one big stoner.
maybe.
Gabe doesn't even,
he actually doesn't even interact in ours. He tries to stay out. He does somewhat, but he's just like, what did he say one time? I think he told me that like it's overwhelming. Like, one, it moves really fast sometimes, and he's not a big social person as it is, like online. But he'll send me stuff on Instagram all the time.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. He does it to me, and it's crazy because I've been so busy lately. Like, no joke, like really busy, and I want to get in there and chime. And yesterday, I was trying to talk to people. I missed 100. It said 100 plus at the top.
Yeah. I missed like 365 in a course of like 50 hours.
I said, I can't do it. I'm going to have to go all the way to the bottom and just see what the last conversation was. And that's what I did. It was like, I couldn't do it.
I fucking love these people though. You know, like their enthusiasm for it is like why we do this and why we hope that it becomes as big as we think it can be. It's really cool though.
It's really cool because when I do have time, even if I don't respond, I can see the conversations going back. Like, for example, today, one of our members asked, like, hey, what kind of desk chair do you guys have? Do you have any recommendations? The one I have right now hurts my back. And boom, it's like boom, 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 boom. You know, we started a herpreneur channel for anybody who's got a business to promote their business on there and to kind of like, you know, just give business advice or whatever. So there's that channel now, you know. We have our prayer request channel. We have our Bible study channel, you know. Rob, what was that face for? Oh my God, just here, if you would have seen his devil face right now.
What are you talking about?
Seriously, when I said our Bible channel, he was like,
no, I had something in my eye.
Sure you did.
I didn't mean anything by it just here.
I just want to like show everybody my purse real quick.
Speaking of, while you take that sip, let me jump into the HERR Lounge server and see if anybody's got any questions. Juan Big Stoner says, this has been killing me since last year. That dude who blew his money, him and his girl saved up for a house. What kind of truck was it? Do you remember this? I think this was a reel. I didn't have that camera on me. Do you remember what he's talking about? I think it was, man, sorry, dude. I wish you would have posted more about the story. It was a video. I do remember vaguely. I think they were saving up for a house, and which they had like agreed to, which is like a big financial decision. But instead, the guy was like, I've worked hard, like I want this truck, and blew the money on a truck instead.
Why does that sound familiar?
It sounds super familiar, right?
Familiar, yeah.
Let me see if I can pull it up while you're thinking about it. But that is in the questions channel. So maybe Juan wants your opinion on that.
Bro, were we trying to buy a fucking house? See, I'm trying not to cuss a lot because why my 17-month-old baby knows how to use the word shit.
What'd she say?
She'll fall and say, oh shit.
That's funny. That's funny.
That's my most word used at home. I'll be honest with you. Shit, I can't believe I did that.
I'm surprised not fuck, honestly.
Yeah, well, that's because I try not to use that one at home. So shit sounds less, is less bad,
less vulgar.
Yes, than F-U-C-K. But I'm really trying not to. But if Chingo did that, it would, bro, we are going back to the dealership and you are giving this shit back and I'm standing there while you give this car back.
Oh man, it doesn't work that way.
Somebody better do something, because this is not an authorized purchase purchase at all. I would be livid like no other. But you know what? I think I told a story about somebody I know who just started writing checks and used the money. They also didn't know that this person had an extra bank account. And when they found out, remember I told you this? And when they found out what to get back at them, they started using the money.
Yes, I do remember this shit a long time ago. You told the story. Mm-hmm. Man, I mean, I don't know.
That's why talking about finances within your marriage is super duper important. Well, my husband just volunteered me to be the financial person.
He's like, you got experience. You've been doing taxes since you were a kid.
I was never asked if I wanted to do that. You know what? We should call him in to ask him why he made me. Pete, can you come here a sec?
Coming onto the podcast live mid-episode, Chingo Bling, everybody.
Chingo Bling.
He's not on camera, but
He's
can
not
see.
on camera.
You'll be able to hear his response.
Guys, let's ask him real quick. Oh, those are great. I love those, babe.
She's got a question for you.
I have a question for you.
Oh, there I go.
Why did you decide to make me the financial person? I was like, he never asked me to be that.
The financial person? What does that mean?
He just volunteered me. Like the one that handles like paying the bills and...
Oh, because I'm allergic to bills. I'm just
a
not
woman's
that,
job.
I'm just not that... So, and a lot of times traditionally people are like, the man handles the bill. He handles the checkbook. La chequera. Yo pago los biles. Yo manejo todo. And it's like, no, that's not going to be my skill. Because sometimes, maybe I'll just get too excited and want to just like, yeah, that sounds like a good investment. Like, I'm going to buy a taco trailer. Or like, oh, that spot's for lease. Or, oh, shit.
Impulse control, you're saying?
Just kind of like, she's just really good at that. She's more organized than me. And she's strong where I'm weak.
Damn, that's another shirt. That's a shirt right there.
That's some cafecito time shit. Tune in.
All right, babe. So we're talking about feminism because we were talking about the episode with the pearly things girl. Mm-hmm. I have a question for you. Would you be pissed if we had saved all this money and then I just decided I wanted to go get the G-Wagon without telling you, and then I come home and say, surprise, but we were saving that money to invest in another property? That's a good one, right? That was one of the questions. That's one of my questions. A guy did that. Yeah.
Bro. I mean, see, I trust you, so I'd roll with it. I'd be like, okay, all right, well, this is your explain it to me, break it down. Like, how is this better than a property? Like, I'd let you kind of give you a chance to persuade me. Like, look, I'm a Rapid Pink. This the HERR Mobile. You know what I mean? It's going to license plate. It's going to be like,
there are some tax benefits to a heavy vehicle like that. You can write off like such a large percentage of it for like X amount of time all up front.
God damn. You a CPA?
Well, you got to look into things from time to time.
Oh, shit.
I didn't know that.
I had no idea.
Yeah. When I think even the Tahoe, like when there's certain vehicles that weigh a certain amount and it's for business use, like there's special like tax benefits.
Well, I know we can do our miles.
I think my CPA is fired now. He ain't never brought that up. How much your car weigh? What you drive?
Well, he does do the car note because it's our business. Yeah. So we do the car note. But
okay. But damn, Rob.
But not a whole portion of it. Shit.
Rob was like, based on weight, you could do it up front, yada, yada.
See, my approach was different. I said I'd be hella pissed if you came home with a truck and we were sitting here we saved all this money to invest on a property. I wouldn't have been that open-minded about it like you were.
I know, you rolled.
You were allowing...
Hold on, bill collector calling me. Hold on. Okay, what were you saying?
You weren't like approaching me. Like, you know how you were like, well, I'd ask you your reason. Like, what made you feel like this was a good purchase?
I mean, that would be very out of character. Like, that's not even, it's such a weird hypothetical.
Yeah, see, that
it's like, surprise, I bought a motorcycle.
Check this out. So it's a 6,000 pound tax deduction. You ever heard about this? So the 6,000 pound vehicle tax deduction is a rule under federal tax code that allows you, people, small business, to deduct $25,000 of a vehicle's purchasing price on their tax return. The vehicle purchase must weigh over 6,000 pounds according to the gross weight rating, but no more than 14,000 pounds. The truck or SUV must be for business purposes and in order to qualify. So a G-Wagon, so I don't think the Tahoe is over 6,000 pounds, but a G-Wagon definitely is. So that's why some of these people that have a ton of money, they'll talk about like, well, the reason I bought the G-Wagon or whatever, this huge like camper van thing, is because I was able to deduct X amount up front from the vehicle.
Well, at one point, we weren't spending enough.
Right. So
this is back during the Trump era where everybody had money and you were just, I mean, everything's
said,
selling out.
I'm going to need y'all to start spending money. Like, y'all don't spend enough money. We're like, what? No, we can't spend money. That's my fear, right? Is not having money in the bank. And so I was like, no, I can't spend that money. It's like, no, you need to. If you don't want to.
Uncle Sam goes to.
Yeah. He's like, so y'all better go start looking for some shit to spend it on. I was like,
he was like, y'all like Balenciaga? And that's before.
Back then would have been like, yeah.
Yeah, that was way before we found out they wanted some pedophile shit.
I told him the story about when you first said, I love you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I said,
you were like caught off guard. You're like, oh yeah, you pretty cool. You chill too.
No, and I just told, I said
that's what's up. If that's how you feel, then that's what it is.
And you were like, you don't have to say it. I'm like, no, I feel the same way, but that I was scared to say because I didn't want to like push you away, like and think like this bitch is moving way too fast. Like how she already
she over here digmatized. I shouldn't have put it on her. I shouldn't have put it on her like that out the gate.
This is what I deal with. Heavy.
This is what I deal with
out the gate.
Spice.
Oh my God! So I was telling him about that story, and I just said that we were so new in our relationship, and I didn't like. I was like, okay. And you were like, well, you don't have to say it. I'm like, no, I do. But it's just like I
got insecure. I know it's really early to be.
Well, now that you're here, let's get the other side of the perspective. Like, well, how should dudes look at like if you're ready to tell your girl I love you?
Oh yeah, because he was saying like, why have we put that? I guess like label or stigma of like, oh, it's too soon. Like, you don't talk about finances when you first hook up with someone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, those are things that should be talked about. Like when you start dating,
or even just saying I love you, right? Like that's the first one probably. Like, how soon does a dude tell his girl?
I think it has to do with like maturity. Like, what, the two people involved, how mature are they? Mm-hmm. What's the dynamic of the relationship? You know what I mean? Like, what's the situation? Is it healthy? Is it like productive and you reciprocate and you're just kind of on the same wavelength and the same page? Like, you believe the earth is flat, I believe the earth is flat. I think that's the main variable. Like, where are y'all at mentally and emotionally and spiritually versus, you got a bunch of shit going on and you don't really know where she stands and y'all really you don't even know if y'all even cut from the same cloth. Like, well, how were you raised? How were you raised? But I agree though. Like, I think the culture, there's a lot of these little rules where like dudes don't want to look soft. Dudes don't want to lose the power. They don't want to lose the upper hand and they don't want to be like, run the risk of, like, damn, I gave in, or damn, she got me, or she knows what's up with my finances, or whatever. So
that's a good game.
It's just how vulnerable are you willing to be in that with that particular person.
But I think you both have to be, right? Because I think I've talked about this before. One of my big problems was I completely shut down when I was mad, or like if he hurt my feelings. Or like I wouldn't talk. Like I just wouldn't talk. And it's because I don't like to apologize. So I'd rather think through what I'm going to say.
You'd rather bottle it in.
Yep, suppress it down.
And then when I'm calm, then I'll say, and he'll be confused because it's like, what? When did that? I'm like, remember that happened
3 days ago?
I got a mental note. She's like, my Neuralink right here.
And, one day.
But he was the one that said, it's not going to work if you don't tell me. Like, you've got to communicate with me. Otherwise,
I was like, this wall shit.
Yeah, it's
you
not.
Building.
Yeah, it's
you
not
building this little
work.
Emotional wall. That's not going to work.
That's great communication right there.
That is, because I do now. And it's kind of, I think I'm way better, wouldn't you say? Yeah. I was not at all before. I mean, I'm talking about like silent treatment. Like
cold shoulder.
Like we're not talking.
How cold? Ice cold.
So cold.
Too cold, too cold.
This is what we do at the house.
Ice,
see, y'all?
ice, baby.
Old ass music always comes
Go
up.
blue and go.
Yes.
Brr, it's cold in here. It must be Marisol in the atmosphere. It's like ice, ice, baby. Too cold, too cold. Ice, ice, baby.
Rob has
Go
no
blue and
idea.
Rob
has
was not on the step
Is
team.
that some fucking stomp the yard shit?
Rob was never on the step team, bro.
Oh my God, we needed this for the podcast episode, bro.
It was getting heavy.
Yeah, it was
talking about feminism and the vice thing.
Yeah,
Well, I actually watched the entire debate.
Oh, yeah,
He
you
did.
didn't watch it.
I didn't.
We didn't
I
even get to that.
couldn't. I couldn't finish it. It was like
It's just a mental virus that's poisoning women. It's
they
all
turned off
division.
the comments, babe. On the
Yeah, the
episode.
comments are turned off.
I was trying to pull them up.
It's just gender Marxism. That's all it is.
So I told her I saw a clip this morning, and it was from the chick that looks like Megan Rapinoe with white hair, and then so I was like, "That's
a guy.
dude." Yeah,
That's a guy.
but that was the one that was like, "Yeah, why wouldn't like the abortion thing? Like that doesn't like that empowers women? Like why wouldn't you want women to just use it as like birth control or whatever?" I'm
It's like, bro, you're a dude.
yeah,
You're a biological dude. And then I think it was Pearly Thing said, I'm damn near 6 foot. I play ball. She said, but if I hoop against a 6 foot dude, and he may not have even been doing training for the past year, whatever, no training. He's like, he would still beat me.
Yeah.
You know?
And his thing was like, well, you would beat me.
Yeah, the little guy, girl, the trans person who was included in this feminism
That
conversation.
was my problem.
Yeah.
That's partially why I couldn't watch it.
was he the only one?
No, I think there's another one.
I suspect the other person
The
was
one
also
next
Jordan.
to, the one next to, right? It was
Either she had a deep voice,
Mm.
but she had the
She never said
she
she
had the
was.
feminist nose ring right here in the middle, like the
Oh,
one
the
in the
septum
middle,
thing?
that one.
Yeah.
And
Almost a dead giveaway there.
I don't know. And the little trans guy, no, that's
That's
the
different.
Tupac.
That's way
Tupac
different.
nose ring. That's the Afeni,
Tupac.
That's the Afeni Shakur right there.
Know what I'm saying?
That's the Erykah Badu right there.
Back lady.
He don't know about Erykah Badu. Don't.
Dawn asked me the same thing after that fucking conversation from Coffee the time. She's like, I was like, I know by name, not by song. Or
Oh
by-
my God, love me some Erykah Badu.
You know what we should do?
Have a music episode.
Yeah, but that's tricky.
Copyright.
of
Oh yeah, I don't know. Maybe it could be a premium thing. And
It
I'm,
could be premium.
I'm gonna get back to my point about these TERFs and all these feminist people. But we need to have some food episode where we just like bring some snacks and let Rob get nervous. He's sweating.
That's it, man.
He's like, I don't want to have to try new things outside of my comfort zone. But like even if we think of a restaurant or like go and just try.
You know what's crazy, Rob? Have you always been this way?
For the most part.
Okay, because he was too, but he grew out of it. Mickey was too, and she's grown out of it because she's got a
Starting to.
way.
Little
She's
by
changed her palate a lot. I feel
Like
because she didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first met him, we were at Cece's Pizza.
I was like, I need to find a pizza place. Like she was my little toddler at the time. She's, Dad, I'm hungry. I was like, okay, can you Google, Marisol, can you
It's
Google Maps?
Chick-fil-A, pizza.
CC's. Find me a Chuck E. Cheese. I can entertain her. I was just a
Yes.
dad.
Yeah.
When it was my turn, it's like, look, I already know how I can kill an hour type of thing. But like the first time I tried Indian food, I was scared. I was terrified. I was like, oh my God, this is some home cooked shit. I don't know what to expect. It's probably too fucking spicy. But anyway, back to these feminist people.
So you were saying, like she was saying, that it empowers people. Listen, when we had Monica Klein on here, and I felt really dumb. I wish we could go back, and I would wish that you could find my facial expression when she said, "You either agree with abortion or you don't. There is no middle."
Right.
Right? And I was just like, because I said, well, I'm kind of in the middle about
That's just
abortion.
because you don't understand the subject fully at the time.
And so when she said that, I was like, okay. But I don't think it's a form of, you should not use it as a form of contraceptive. Like, bitch, no. Like, you don't go have 6, 7 abortions because.
And celebrate it and brag about it.
Yeah. Either one of you fans of Eliza Schlesinger? Probably more so. Have you ever seen Eliza stand up? I watched Dawn and I watched her newest special yesterday, and she hit on all kinds of subjects. Like Eliza goes in on everybody: girls, guys, trans, feminists, whatever. And she made probably like 2 like strong this isn't the funny part, but goes on this abortion rant. And, you know, she's a Texas girl. She's from Dallas area and whatever, but she's still very like firm that like women's rights shouldn't be governed and this, that, and the other. So
women's bodies shouldn't be governed by the state and the government.
yeah. So I understand.
Sounds cool in theory.
Yeah, I understand when you say it like that, but I guess if you get down to the specifics of like, oh, so 9 months is cool, probably wouldn't say yeah, you know, but it's a tricky conversation.
But so many people think that it's okay because it's still your body, your choice. That's kind of because that girl Pearl said. Yes, but they're trying to make it to where there was another girl from New York who said, but they're making it okay for you to have an abortion even after the mother has delivered. And they were like, where's that happening? Like everybody was against. She's like, no, it's happening in California and da-da-da. So it's like the other women didn't know about this, but they still said it's her choice. The baby is born, bro. You done pushed.
Hey, I was listening to...
Do y'all know how your vagina hurts when you have a vaginal birth? When you have a C-section? You know what I'm saying? You did all that and then you're just going to be like, you know what? I just don't think I want the baby. Go ahead and just do what the fuck you're going to do with it.
That's dark.
I was listening to Eddie Bravo's podcast, Look Into It. He was interviewing the producers of Died Suddenly, the documentary. And they talked about all kinds of stuff. And one of the things they mentioned was how I guess tyranny or fascism can creep in easier through the left. And, you know, obviously a lot of people on the right are corrupt, a lot of these politicians and stuff, but like it's easier on the left because the left is willing to dismiss God and it's a little bit more godless. So it's easier. In other words, when the government is trying to do certain things, someone who has faith in God is going to be like, no, I think there's a higher power that's, you know, my rights come from that higher power, or I have, I guess like the beliefs have more to do with the higher power and less with the state and the government. Whereas in the left, like there is no God. Like they push that out and they got more people over there that are atheists or whatever to where they're able to push, you know, Planned Parenthood can make more money because folks on the left are willing to frame it more as women's body, women's rights, women's choice. Keep your rosaries off my ovaries versus... Is there a life? Is there another life in there? Is that a child? Is that a zygote? Is that an embryo? Like clump of cells? You see what I'm saying?
If you are going to make abortion legal, though, the fact that Texas made it like I think 4 weeks or something, like
6 weeks.
6 weeks. I mean, I just kind of feel like that's giving you some time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like. Does that make sense? Like they made a decision that at 6 weeks would be the cutoff, right? And at 6 weeks, you have a little pee like this still. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you've ever, for anybody that's been pregnant, you know where your baby is. Listen, let's just talk about how early on, you know, there's a baby in there. When I got pregnant with Penelope, I had just quit at the competition. I wasn't going to compete. So I was super duper tiny, right? So I came into that visit. Do you remember this? And I had a little pouch. With my midwife. And I had a little pouch already. And she was like...
At how many weeks?
Man, I think I was like not even 10 weeks. I might have just made 10 weeks. Not even. It was super early on. And I went to go see her. And she said... Can somebody look at her chart? Are you having twins? I said, no, not that I know of. She goes,
that'd been so cool.
Either you're having twins or there's something happening in there because you're too small and you're showing already. You should not be showing yet. Like no one shows that fast.
It was fibroids.
And it was my fibroids. Right. My fibroids grew faster than my baby. But do you see what I'm saying? How fast a female's body starts to change and starts to prepare to start creating this life and growing this life to the point to where it should make you think. Like, let's just use logic. Put your emotions aside about, this is my right? Blah, 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 blah. Just look at what your body, just think about what your body is doing for this baby already. The minute it sprouts. I don't even know what you want to say. Like the minute it just goes in there and you find out you're pregnant, your body already starts to prepare. It already starts to do all the things to get this baby ready for when it begins to grow.
Pearl broke it down amazingly when she said, all this abortion talk is just an excuse to be promiscuous and irresponsible. And they're like,
yeah, that's
what
sparked
do you
the
mean?
trans guy to go off.
And then she goes on to say, there's 41 forms of birth control. You can monitor your cycle. You can do this. You can get the IUD. You can get on the pill. You can do this. You can do that. You can do abstinence. She's like, there's 41 fucking ways that you can avoid even being in this predicament.
Right.
And they're just like, it's about access and it's the power structure. And she's like, no, y'all just want to fuck around and not have to live with the consequences. They're like, yeah, I know that's right.
Yeah. That was some of the
like the Cardi B song. I know that's right. I was listening to some like Memphis rap and shit. You know, R.I.P. Gangsta Boo. And they got this new little girl out there. She looks like 18. Glorilla.
Oh, I've heard that.
And she has a song, and they're talking about stopping at the red light, twerking on the headlights, and and it's like, I'm a papa plan B, ain't no end trapping me, and everything about the culture is not, hey dude, it's 41 forms of birth control. You have many ways, like there's abstinence, there's so many things so that you're not even in this predicament. No, it's, I'm a papa plan B, I'm a twerk in front of Planned Parenthood. All this stuff is celebrated. It's all culture.
But I do think there's circumstances, and what I mean by that, it's rape, which is very small. We've already discussed that, right? Should a family member do something and then that happens, right? So there's, and then at that point though, if people read the actual bill, it is the decision between you and the doctor about terminating the baby because it was a rape or incest or any of that. So
instead of giving the rapist a death penalty, you're giving the baby the death penalty.
Yes, but what I'm saying is the option is still there for everybody who wants to fight this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to have an argument about it, right? It's like, well, what about the ones that get raped, and what are they? There is one, there's the option of carrying it, obviously, and then giving it up for adoption, right? But there's also the option of talking to your doctor, because imagine, let's just hypothetically, a 12-year-old gets raped and ends up pregnant because they can now. So now this 12-year-old's going to have to carry this baby?
Yeah, that's the Joe Rogan episode versus
Matt Walsh.
Yeah, Matt Walsh.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. I have daughters. You have daughters. You have a daughter. So if she's 12 and some shit like that goes down, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that I'd let her continue with it. I wouldn't. But if she said to me, I don't want to have an abortion. This is not a decision I want to make between you, me, and my pediatrician, right? I want to have this baby and I'd like to give it up for adoption. Well, at that point, I mean, I'd adopt the baby. I wouldn't let her just give it up for adoption. It'd be ours at that point. You see what I'm saying?
Rob, you familiar with the song by Madonna? Papa Don't Preach.
Yes.
Okay, I'm keeping my baby. So damn, Madonna was pro. I'm keeping my baby.
I don't remember. I didn't know that's what she said. No, I remember the song. Papa Don't Preach.
Papa Don't. You know what the song was about?
No.
Oh shit. How does it go?
Keeping my baby.
Yeah, Papa, I'm keeping my baby. Papa don't preach. I'm in love. Da, da, da. Papa don't preach. Da, da, da.
Now I made up my mind.
I never even paid attention to that. Yeah.
She's saying I'm keeping the baby. The whole video, everything about.
She didn't see her come out say anything about
That's
abortion.
True.
Hey,
She did talk about blowing up the White House. Though.
Right now, she look like Lil' Kim.
Right now, she looks like the devil. She looks
She
weird.
keep fucking
like a
with her
corpse.
face. She don't even look Italian no more.
She made this for her forehead pop out.
Yeah.
She did that to her forehead?
I mean, I don't know how else. I don't know how else that could have happened.
Before I get up out of here, because I know I'm a guest.
We're wrapping up. We have 1 minute left.
All right, bro. Michael Jackson. We saw another documentary by Hibbler Productions where it pretty much shows he's innocent. He didn't do.
I have heard more and more people talk about that.
Yeah, he didn't do all the shit they tried to frame him.
That is so fucked up, bro.
Why you think he had to roll with Nation of Islam? And it's like, yo, these crackers trying to kill me. These crackers after me.
Really?
You have to watch it, bro.
Yeah.
It's short.
And the guy that came out and lied.
Lying ass.
And then said he did. Then
There's
he
a special
lied,
place
and
in
then
hell for that son of a gun.
Wow. I mean,
Lied about Michael?
Yeah.
He said he lied about Michael?
No,
no, he did confess.
I mean, yeah. Oh, he finally the
When he
dance choreographer.
Yeah, the choreographer. Remember? And they're like, "Why did you say that?" And now you're taking it back.
He's still not trying to.
I don't know about today, but
you just got to watch it.
You got to watch it.
It's by
It's crazy.
Hibbler Productions, and it just shows like interviews, just receipts, facts, info that a lot of people don't know. They just hear and assume like, yeah, didn't he get accused by a bunch of people? And then you go through, what did this accusation, whatever happened with that? Oh, they came back and it turns out that the dad was making the kid do that. He couldn't handle the guilt and killed himself. Then what happened to the other kid? Well, come to find out, the mama put the kid up to it. Yada, yada, yada.
Damn.
And then you have like Macaulay Culkin explaining stuff. Like,
Yeah.
He's like, I slept in Michael's bedroom. He's like, but what Michael don't tell y'all is it's like a whole house. He's like, his bedroom is 2 stories tall. There's 3 fucking bathrooms. There's other people there. Everybody got their own section. He's like, so Michael don't know how to explain stuff.
also, speaking about that, oh man, I lost it right now. Keep talking, babe.
We gonna make Rob like Michael Jackson
So wait, the same people that made the flat Earth
and
doc
Mustard. Yeah.
Yes.
made this Michael Jackson.
Damn, what was I going to
It's
tell you?
very persuasive, very convincing. Like all the info of like, wait a minute, this choreographer, because the way it's edited is so good. Because the choreographer is like, when they were grilling him, they're like, hold on,
He was friends with him since he was 12
or 6
or something like that, like itty bitty. And
20
he was like,
years.
And so he was like, Michael would never do that when he was little.
As
First
soon as Michael
interview.
died, he was pitching a Cirque du Soleil Michael Jackson show. You just got to watch it.
The choreographer?
Yes.
Yes.
He was dating Michael's niece for 7 years. Michael set them up, like hooked them up together. He met the niece through, like, for the longest was his biggest like supporter. As soon as Michael Jackson died, no longer there to defend himself. Now all of a sudden he's suing the estate. Now he's doing this media run after he didn't get picked to handle the Cirque du Soleil, to be the director and lead choreographer. He didn't get picked for that. Basically just opportunities, bro.
So before we wrap up, what set off the whole Michael Jackson controversy? Do you remember? Because I don't know.
It was somebody that confessed he was being touched by Michael. But I think that first was the first family. I think it was that little family.
Wasn't one of the Carter kids?
No, Aaron Carter. Aaron Carter was just like Macaulay saying Michael didn't do none of that.
Mm-hmm. What I was saying was one of the things that this documentary does say is on both of them. It was like we need to stop teaching our children to read, but rather question also what we read, which is funny because Juan Vic Stoner is big on that, you know, and it is true. It's not like, let's just read a book and should they have a question? What, like Penny asked me the other day, I didn't even know how to respond to her. It was like such a science question. She said she wanted to know why when we're in the car, it feels like inside the car, we're going slow, like, right? But everything outside is going really fast.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
She's like, physics.
just said, well, I really don't know how to explain this to you because a lot of the words that I want to use, you still wouldn't understand. I said, but we are going fast. It just doesn't feel it in the car, you know? Because, 30 miles an hour is still...
Or look at an airplane. You're in there ordering drinks, going to the restroom, taking a nap.
And I was trying to explain to her, I said, so she's like, so we just don't move? And I was just like, let's ask Daddy.
Well, you know why it's even more, because I've always been the same way of like questioning things, is because like back in the day before the internet, in order to add to the body of knowledge that is knowledge of the world, you had to like put your whole life into something, a book or a subject or a topic, 30, 40, 50 years. You'd write a dissertation, you'd give a speech or something, and that would be added to the body of knowledge of the world. Now, you fucking just post it on Wikipedia and people think that that's fact. The barrier to entry is so low for info that you have to question everything because you don't know if it's real or not.
It's all fucking intelligence agencies
and propaganda,
psyops.
right.
So when my 14-year-old was curious about Romania, the country, because they filmed Wednesday, the series there, she's like, oh, I'm going to Google Romania.
Oh, right.
I think I said this on RPT. She's like, I'm going to Google Romania. Dad, what do you know about Romania? And then she Googles it. What's the first thing that pops up? A YouTube thumbnail clickbait that's all about Andrew Tate getting arrested for sex trafficking and child endangerment or whatever else. And it's like, oh, Andrew Tate arrested for... And I was like, oh my God. I was like, they're after this dude. I was like, why is this the first thing when you're looking for info on a country?
Yeah.
And come to find out, he got swatted. He went to the station, gave a statement. Nobody was being held against their will. He got released right after that. But they make sure to get the perp walk on camera. Everybody jumps the gun. Everybody runs with the first bit of information. Because they say the lie done ran around town before the truth get a chance, put his drawers on, hop out of bed.
That's a great one to go out on.
Come on now.
Where can people get premium content, Sol?
So go on over to Patreon/Her Lounge Podcast. Come be a part of her world. Join us. And if you haven't checked us out yet, please do so. And don't forget to go shopping on herappareltx.com. We have a bunch of new stuff coming out. And if you are local, you can also visit my brand at The Hive Pop-Up Collective in Rice Village. So stop by and come support even more. See y'all on Friday. Bye.